What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Married to Medicine. This is season 11, episode 2, and this was a very meh episode, okay? Things are building, but I want more, okay? We're on episode 2. It shouldn't be meh. Y'all started off really well with episode 1. Keep the momentum going, okay? But let's get into it. Sometimes before we get into it, we get a little spicy, just a little bit. And I just got 2 things I want to talk to you guys about. So first up, it looks like they're releasing the second batch of clips from Bravo Fan Fest. So if you don't know, Bravo Fan Fest happened I want to say 2 weeks ago down in Miami. And it was basically like a mini BravoCon. And there was a panel that had Mia Thornton and Wendy, Toya, and Simone on there. And currently there are 2 clips somewhat going viral, all because of Dr. Simone. So the first clip I want to play for you is where she was doing Watch What Happens Live with Andy. And I think the question was say 3 things that are very nice about Quad. And Simone, being Simone, gave a Simone response. So let me play it for you.
Quad is an amazing friend.
Quad is an amazing friend because she has a collection of amazing wigs. Amazing friends. No, she is an amazing friend because she has a collection of amazing wigs. And no matter where you're going, she's got the wig for the season.
Okay, so that's one reason.
Yeah. The second reason Quad is an amazing friend, you know how sometimes you don't want to be bothered? Well, I never have to be bothered with Quad because she's not around.
Okay.
Yes, that's amazing, right?
Do you have a third reason?
And the third reason Quad is such an amazing friend is because she knows how to keep a secret, like the fact that she was with her man for a year and none of us knew.
Okay, she can keep a secret.
So here's my thing. I thought it was funny. But as much as I like Dr. Simone, I told y'all she's my favorite. She has to be prepared for Quad's response. So I don't want no being butthurt about it. You being shady, you got to be prepared for the shade that she throws, whether it's on the reunion or if she's on Watch What Happens Live, the actual TV show. So the next clip I want to talk about that got Dr. Heavenly in her feelings was a viewer question that was posed to Dr. Simone, where they were asking about Dr. Damon and the whole infidelity situation and if she has heard rumors. So let me play that clip for you guys, and then I'll read what Dr. Heavenly put on Twitter and Simone's response to Dr. Heavenly.
Wesley O texted and wants to know if you had ever heard rumors of Damon's infidelity prior to the reunion, or did Sweet Tea make them up to hurt Heavenly?
Let me say this. I plead the 5th.
Okay.
But we can never say that based on how somebody looks that they would never cheat. Correct. You don't know who has the ability to cheat.
Tammy.
And it's not based on
Tammy.
their looks.
1,000%. Yeah.
Okay. How do you think Heavenly's going to react to that comment?
She's going to not speak to me for a few days and it's going to be okay.
Dr. Simone was correct that Dr. Heavenly was not going to talk to her and be angry, okay? Because Dr. Heavenly hopped on to Twitter and said this: I hear at Dr. S.S. Whitmore lied on my man tonight on Watch What Happens Live. She called me saying we need to get to season 12. Well, my marriage is not for sale, but everybody else's is. As much as I like Heavenly, you have attacked everybody's marriage, sis. Since you've been on this show, all right? And so she says, she says, sorry, Cecil, you may have to catch these strays. As your wife said, we must get to season 12. And then you got Simone responded by saying, sitting here wondering why you at Dr. Heavenly will lie on me. You called me with a CYA, and I Googled, that means cover your ass. And I handed you one right back. We have all heard rumors about each other's husbands. Shall I start recording our conversations for future reference or just get on social media? then it continued with Simone quote tweeting Mary Cosby's fan page where she said, Simone, don't. Y'all are sisters. And Simone said, we will always be sisters, but I don't like when my so-called sisters paint me out to be someone I'm not. Hashtag married to medicine. Now, here's the thing. Heavenly, if Damon cheated, he cheated. It is what it is and what it's going to be. Like, you're married, y'all been married for how long? I would just say y'all worked past it and y'all were able to overcome it. Because to be honest, it's starting to feel like maybe he did, because at the end of this episode, when they asked you guys in the confessional when y'all were doing it together, I think production was like, do you believe that Heavenly like shared this information about you cheating with Sweet Tea? And Damon never refuted it, being like, I never cheated on Heavenly. He basically said, I don't think Heavenly and Sweet Tea are even that close for her to share that type of information, which makes me feel like either you cheated before y'all got married or while y'all been married. But either way, it ain't like y'all about to run and go get a divorce. Like, it's not that deep, Heavenly. And you do attack everybody's marriage. So to say my marriage isn't for sale, girl, the show is Married to Medicine. You already sold your marriage for a show. So there's that. Let's get into this review. The episode opens up and we get this really nice scene. And it was like a full circle moment of Phaedra taking, is this one Aiden, to his first day of high school. And a lot of people online were resharing the clip of him on Real Housewives of Atlanta when he was like in kindergarten going to his first day of school. So I just thought that was very sweet. But honestly, I forgot Phaedra was even in the show, because I remember this scene, and then when she popped up at the end of the episode, I said, oh, she is a part of this cast. It just threw me off. Like, legit just threw me all the way off. So we settle on this scene with Simone and Cecil. It's the day after the Whitney, and Simone going through it. She popping Tums like it's candy. You know, her stomach hurt, her butt hurt. She ends up finding out that Cecil is down in the basement in their media room. So she go down there with him, and she like, did you put extra tequila in the margarita machine? And Cecil kind of was like, yeah, after the margarita man left, I poured a little bit more. And he said, we was better than this. You know, we used to be able to like party all night and keep it going. I said, that was 35 years ago. Cecil, y'all not moving like y'all used to. I don't even know why you thought that was okay, sir. And so, you know, she's in pain. She then ends up asking Cecil, so explain to me how Quad got invited. I mean, I get that she's one of your favorites, but you could have gave me a heads up. And he said, well, I didn't give you a heads up because my head would have been off if I gave you a heads up. And so he says, you know, I did not do the same for you and Jackie. And they do show a flashback of when Simone and Jackie were on the outs, that Cecil did push Simone to speak to Jackie. And I think it's important that Simone and Cecil are together. I know a lot of people have gripes about their relationship, but it's something about having somebody that will push you in the right direction that is needed, because Simone is stubborn. She's stubborn. I don't think she is wrong for like being cautious of having a relationship with Quad, but you can clearly tell that she still wants to be cool with Quad, but there's like a wall that's up that she is like not ready to like knock down like everybody else is. And she has to figure out what she gonna do about it. She basically is just kind of like, me and Quad were on a good part, like not part, but in a good place. And then social media got involved after the reunion, and then all of a sudden she stopped talking to me. And if I was Simone, I wouldn't talk to Quad either. I am very much the type of person that I'm not going to beg you to be my friend. There was instances where have done that before, and it's belittling and it's dehumanizing, because if you don't want to be my friend, you don't have to be my friend. And I've gotten to that point in my life where like I will reach out to you at least 2 times. If you don't respond in those 2 times with like a text or a phone call, hell, even send me an email, then I know what it is, and I'm gonna leave you where you at. So I don't fault Simone being like, we were talking, we were in communication, and then she went ghost on me. We're too grown to be begging people to be our friends at this point, in my opinion. So you then have Simone stomach issues coming back because of the alcohol. So she runs to the bathroom. We then get this scene of Gregory and Letitia, aka Sweet Tea, going to like this restaurant together. And it was uncomfortable. I'm sorry, y'all. Nothing about them gives like I want to see them be googly eyed, like all the sexual innuendos. It's not like they're not a type of couple I would be into, seeing that type of stuff from. Now, I'm not saying that they're ugly or they're unattractive. It's just that, like, it was cringy. That's the nicest way I can say it. It was cringy. And somebody online said, I am so pissed that production showed me Pure Leaf and the Glucose Guardian having like sexy talk with each other. It was too much. It felt like it was lingering. Even when they were like talking about how she likes that he's a sexy nerd, and he was like, he likes when she wears her nerdy glasses. It was uncomfortable, bro. I just didn't like it. I told you, it's Weenie Hut Jr. over there with them too. And so Sweet Tea sees a baby and she's just like, oh. And when that man said he ready to knock the endometriosis out of her tubes, I could have vomited. I said, oh. It gave, you know what it is? It gave your parents, like, being sexy in front of you. It was uncomfortable. Sweet Tea are really trying to have this baby, okay? And so Sweet Tea is feeling real tired because of Whitnick. She ends up saying that, like, she was, kind of uncomfortable with the confrontation between the four of them. So Damon, Heavenly, her, and Greg. And she was just like, she doesn't know how to handle, Heavenly or the ladies, really. She ends up saying that she feels like she feels like Heavenly is obsessed with her. So then she shows her phone, and it's one of Dr. Heavenly's lives. And why was she doing the live with Spill It Boy TV, aka James Caldwell? I haven't watched his reviews yet, but I know he's going to say something because I know he saw himself in the episode, because I looked at it, I said, that says Spill It Boy. I said, not James. Now she looking at James' video. I love his channel. So she's just in the confessional talking about how Heavenly wants to play in the mud, but I'm not going to play in the mud with her. And then Gregory says that, like, he is actually upset with Damon's response because he's just like, he expected more of Damon, especially after what Heavenly did. She called him controlling, abusive, and called him a pedia, and we know the rest of it. And so it switches from Sweet Tea and Greg to Heavenly and Damon. And so they're at home. Damon's in his music room, and Heavenly ends up asking him, how did you feel about Whitnick, and how did you feel about Sweet Tea coming towards you? And he was just like, I don't really have no beef with her. I don't even know her like that. But my real issue is with Greg. Like, we've been friends for 12 years, and bro, you know my character. But the same thing can be said about Greg to you, Damon. If y'all been friends for 12 years, then you should have checked your wife. Like, as much as I like Heavenly, there definitely should have been a formal apology online, on her YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. There needed to be more, because you just don't call nobody a pedia, you know what. Like I said before, the abusive and controlling thing, it depends on how people view Gregory's actions. A lot of people have said that they don't get why the cast still remain cool with Gregory after getting into a fight with Quad. But then a lot of other people are like, well, it seems like it was mutual. They both were in this toxic relationship. Then other people are like, well, they can see him being controlling, especially after what he did to Sweet Tea, by her own words, by faking like someone broke into the house because she wouldn't turn on the security alarm. So it's like, those two, I think, are not that serious compared to, you called him a pedia, Like, girl, you got to apologize. And then on top of that, you tried to say that he wasn't respected in his own field, the same way that you were angry that Sweet Tea, which Sweet Tea drew first blood with that one. Because at first, they were just attacking each other. Like, there was no attacking to anybody's profession, but then Sweet Tea attacked Heavenly's profession first. So I'm like, yeah, girl, you should have been prepared for that, because they don't see what you do as a value. So of course she was going to go after your husband. Don't make it right, but you should have been ready for that. So then Heavenly attacked his. It was wrong on all fronts, on all sides. So it goes back to Greg and Sweet Tea, and pretty much he's just like, she needs to apologize and Damon needs to apologize so we can move forward. And that's it. The next thing we have is at Dr. Jackie's practice. She's meeting with her client, aka Miss Cash Doll. You know, I'm not really the biggest fan of Cash Doll's music, but she is so pretty and she really don't take no shit from nobody. And I respect that about Cash Doll, okay? But she's having her second child, and Dr. Jackie is her doctor. So, you know, they talk about fertility issues and the mortality rate of Black women, and y'all know how last season was, okay? But Dr. Jackie responded to it, and I think in the best way possible in this episode, where she says that like Black doctors that work on Black women is already like small, and I'm not quitting this profession to make it smaller. So she said, y'all can be mad all day, but I still got clients. And I said, okay, I just hope your bedside manner has changed. But we see her talking to Kamala Harris like we saw last season, and they were talking about a mother-in-law's knot, where I guess it's a tighter knot when you get like your C-section or when they stitch you up down there. Who knows? So the next thing we have is of Miss Quad, where she has a driver and these two flight attendants or women dressed up as flight attendants in the back of the car where they are dropping off birthday invitations for Quad's 43rd birthday. Quad in her car with the people pulling up to everybody's spot. While she's in the car, she's explaining to the people in the car with her how these ladies and her have been on a rocky road and it's been a minute since she's had a birthday with them, but she loves these ladies and they're trying to come back together. In her confessional, she says that, you know, I was divvying out apologies left and right, but do you notice that nobody apologized to me, especially about what they did to me in Napa? So it's interesting that everybody online has been harping on that what Quad is really mad about is what Simone did in New York about, you know, the tragedy that her family faced. But now the narrative is, to me, is switching to she's more mad about what happened to her in Napa Valley when it was Simone, Jackie, and Heavenly that told her, girl, pack your things and head to the airport. You know, so she feels more betrayed by that to me than the whole situation that happened on that stage at the last reunion. So we see them pull up at what's it called? Simone's job first. They come in, Simone looking at them like, what is this? And the flight attendants invite her to Quad's party. So then she's like, where is Quad? And the way that Simone and Quad embraced each other, they genuinely care about each other. Now, do I think it's love? I don't know. But there's a genuine, like, care there because they squeezed one another in that embrace. And, you know, Simone is like, as shady as she is, she's like, of course Quad gonna show up in a Rolls Royce. That's how she roll. But she actually was like, being invited to her party makes me anxious, but I'm willing to go. So then the next scene we see is Sweet Tea and Contessa basically bonding and, you know, trauma bonding over their hatred of Heavenly. Because I'm like, this is awkward, okay? You can tell that y'all not friends like that, or y'all are trying to be friends, and it just feels weird a little bit. But it is what it is. And honestly, they'll probably be able to build a better friendship than she has been able to with everybody else, because now she got something in common with somebody, which is her hatred of Heavenly. So they're at Contessa's house, and, you know, they're talking about how, you know, Heavenly and social media and how she just doesn't, like, let up, and she do too much, you know? And then Sweet Tea says stupid is as stupid does. My thing about it with Contessa is you were fine with it when you were on her YouTube platform talking shit about everybody else's marriage, but then when she got to your marriage, oh, we're supposed to be hands off. Well, you know that's not how Heavenly plays. Heavenly be attacking everybody except Jackie. And sometimes she be giving Jackie a little piece of the business. But I feel like Contessa is trying to rewrite history as if we didn't see the problems with her and Scott. It was very evident that there was issues there. Now, do I know if the man cheated on her? No. But do I believe, like what Heavenly said in one of those flashbacks, that her marriage to him is dysfunctional? Yes. Because clearly, girl, you're not happy. You can tell in the way that you kept switching jobs and trying to figure out something. You were trying to find a piece of happiness to make you stay in this marriage. Because honestly, if everything was okay, I believe that you and Scott would have came back full time instead of you just being a friend of, in my opinion. Okay, still at Contessa's house, and she hears a knock at her door, and it's Quad with the flight attendants inviting her to her birthday party. It's awkward, okay, because Contessa's like, "Sweet Tea is here. Go say hi." And Quad said, "And I'm getting back in this car. Y'all have a nice day." And Contessa's like, "Well, you might need to go home so you could get your invitation." And Sweet Tea says in her confessional she didn't want to go either way. I said, "Girl, I don't know about that," but then again, she might be right, because I don't know if I would ever go to my husband's ex-wife's birthday party, especially if we didn't have that type of relationship to begin with. So while they're in the car, one of the flight attendants said, "Who was that old?" No, the driver ends up saying, "Who was that old lady standing beside Contessa?" And Quad's like, "What old lady?" And she said, "The one with the thick glasses." And she said, "That's my ex-husband's wife." And they said, "Oh." When the flight attendant in the back was like, "Ooh." Now, it was definitely a produced scene, but it reminded me of Ultimate Girls Trip Ex-Wives Club when somebody was like, no, I don't know if it was Phaedra or one of the girls that was like, Brandy, Dorinda is your elder. And Brandy said she's like a year older than me. And the guy that was like serving him drinks turned around and he was like, he was weak, and I was weak too. That gave me that. So Quad basically says, "I didn't invite her. We not cool like that. We not friends like that. And I want to have a good time at my party." So then we see her with the event planner that's helping her plan her birthday. It's going to be a Paris theme and Moulin Rouge because Quad enjoys going to Paris. So very burlesque, So we then get this scene of Jackie and Heavenly at Jackie's house trying to find out the outfits that they're going to wear. And Jackie basically says, "It's Quad. I'm looking for it to be over the top." Honestly, the birthday was kind of lame. It really was. Compared to the birthdays that they showed us, I think her birthday in 2016 was the best because it was like carnival theme. And I just thought the vibe was a lot, like, it was fun. It felt like everybody was like, they were turned. It's hard to be turned when it's like burlesque. I feel like there's this air, like when you see burlesque, like there's stripping and then there's burlesque. Burlesque is like supposed to be mature and stuff like that. Whereas stripping, I just feel like, girl, we about to turn up, get naked and have fun. You know what I'm saying? So the vibe wasn't really vibing. It was stripper adjacent and it just wasn't fun. You know what I'm saying? It's Toya pulling up at Simone's house. Contessa's already there. I don't know what Contessa was wearing. She looked a mess. I feel like the event planner or the event space owner, I think her name was like Nicolette, when she was like, "Oh, it's giving burlesque gladiator," was shade because she looked a mess to me. But she's there. Toya's looking at what Contessa has on the bed, and she's like, "Contessa, like she said burlesque, not panties and thongs. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what are we doing?" So then Contessa ends up telling them about Quad pulling up to her house while Sweet Tea was there and inviting her to the party, but not Sweet Tea, and how she felt uncomfortable. And Toya feels like that's not fair that Sweet Tea wasn't invited because she was just like, "Well, you pulled up to her bachelorette party last season and you weren't invited then, and you were just complaining to me about not being invited at the way you were done, feeling excluded at Napa Valley. Then why do it to somebody else?" But I feel like this is different. I mean, I guess it is as it is. It is, isn't. It is, my God, y'all. It is and it isn't. Because in one way, I get what Toya is saying. Like, we're filming a reality show. You pulled up at her bachelorette party, which was supposed to be all about her. You can invite the lady to your birthday party. But if we were talking about real life, in real life, Quad would have got beat up, or she would have never went to Sweet Tea's bachelorette party. And in real life, Sweet Tea would never be invited to Quad's birthday party. Honestly, So in that regard, I do get where Toya is saying, where she's like, you could have invited her. So Simone talks about how, like, it's nice to see that Quad and Toya are in a good place. And Toya's like, "Yeah, I just felt like she was really sorry when she apologized to me. Like, I just felt like it was real." And she was like, "What I'm going to be mad about when I felt like it was real. And then Simone says she knows she owed Quad an apology because she went too far with trying to prove a point by bringing up the tragedy, and she has to figure out how to apologize to her. But then Toya was like, that's not why she's really upset with you. She's upset with what happened in Napa Valley when you all basically excluded her from the trip. And Simone is kind of like, so if I got to keep apologizing for stuff that I'm not really sorry for, then we just need to leave it where it's at. Because she's just like, now that's what she mad about. And they actually show a flashback where it was Quad and Toya hanging out. And the thing about it is Simone just feels like it's been 5 years, but we keep saying we're going to get this relationship back on track. But every time it's like we keep going, we keep stopping, we keep going. And at this point, why don't we just leave it where it is and keep it pushing? And I think that's what they probably should do, honestly. So we see the girls pile into the car. We see Jackie and Heavenly in the car together. They're talking about this is year 7, or no, she's 43, so it equals up to 7, the year of completion. So something really big is going to happen for Quad. The other ladies are in the car where Simone is like, if it get uncomfortable or it get feeling a little we leaving. And so Contessa's like, so what's our signal? Like, hootie hoo, what we doing? Where we going? Jackie lame because they were making everybody take a shot before they came into the party. Now, I know you can't force people to drink, but I'm like, girl, take a shot. It's nothing. But she doesn't take a shot. Heavenly does. We see the ladies talk to the event space owner. Her name is Nicolette. They're like, oh my gosh, this is really lovely and everything. And they were like, so who put all of this together? And Nicolette is like Quad's boyfriend. So everyone's like, she got a boyfriend? She got a boyfriend. And I think Contessa was like, friends are supposed to share things with their friends. And then Toya is like, y'all know Quad is secretive AF. She wasn't going to tell us everything. She don't tell us anything. And then Simone says, and this proves my point, when Quad don't really like mess with you, or even when you are cool in a friendship, she don't share information with you. And she kind of just leaves you in the dark. And I feel like that is why I've never totally been on Quad's side, because I feel like you can't ask people for a friendship and you not be all the way in and expect them to be all the way in. Now, I'm not saying that like Quad is totally in the wrong, but I've never felt like Quad was all the way innocent when it comes to these ladies. Because it gets to a point where it's like, then we're not really friends, girl. We're co-workers, so you shouldn't expect much of me. If you're not sharing about your personal life or what you have going on, then why are you expecting me to be all the way transparent with you? And I feel like that's not fair. And I was actually surprised that Heavenly didn't even know that Quad had a boyfriend, because they were like, y'all know Quad got a boyfriend? And Heavenly's like, for real? Like, and granted, they've all said slick things about Quad and, you know, the men and all of this. We know that history that Quad has with this group, but I do feel like it's unfair to expect people to share with you and to build a relationship with you when you don't trust them. Because it's like Quad doesn't trust them, but she wants them to like welcome her into the fold and be friends with them. They don't really trust Quad because Quad doesn't trust them. So it's like, what's the point? You know, it's just a mess. So they're, looking around the party trying to see like who Quad man is. We end up seeing Phaedra. Then we see Mayetta, and they're like, oh, Quad got a man. And they was like, of course, Phaedra's like, yeah, of course Quad was dating. Now the man part I didn't know about. We then see Quad come out in this really nice, like, bedazzled, bejeweled, all white ensemble, with the crown and everything. And, she dancing and moving and shaking. It really didn't give me burlesque. I was just like, okay, it's nice. She looked nice. Then she hopped on the mic to introduce her man, which I'm like, girl, it's my birthday. I'm not making it about my new man. I'm not. But she was happy. She was crying about how in love she is. And, Jackie was like, he fine. Okay. Simone was like, oh, he definitely young, chocolate, and handsome. And then you got Toya saying, girl, you let go of the Mucinex and got with the Flintstones vitamin. I screamed. Okay. I said, now she left Mucinex, or was it Metamucil? I said Mucinex, Metamucil, and went and finally got a Flintstones vitamin or whatever. But Contessa was right, because Contessa was like, he probably younger than her. And I mean, he looks like he's around the same age as her, but maybe he's like in his 30s, like his late 30s. I don't think Quad would date anybody in their 20s. And even if they were in their early 30s, I think the guy would have to be at least like 37 or 30, like, yeah, 37 or 38 and older. I don't think she would date anybody like 36 and younger. That's just my take on it. So she introduced her boyfriends to the ladies. We find out that they've been dating for at least a year because Toya's like, y'all been together for a year? Like, how long has this been going on? He talks to the crowd as well and thanks them for coming out. We find out that he paid for the whole entire party. And then Toya confronts a Quad about not inviting Sweet Tea and how she said, she felt like she was being left out. Now, in this scene, it definitely feels like this might be Sweet Tea's last season because Quad made it be known, like, I want to work on this relationship. I don't have no parts with her. I don't want no parts with her. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And I said, well, okay, I see you. I understand. So then Jackie even said in her confessional, like, I would never invite my husband's ex-wife to my birthday, so I get it. You then see Simone thank Quad for inviting her to the party and being like, I really appreciate it. And Quad said, we're going to have a real talk, but now is not the time, but I'm glad you're here. And then they kiss each other on the cheek, and Quad said, she said, you can get the lips later. And Simone said, girl, ain't that for your man? And they giggled and had a good time. The scene of the husbands. So Cecil invited all the guys out to like hang out, eat, drink, and have a good time. And it's awkward between Damon and Greg, and everybody can feel the tension. Basically, Greg told Damon, your wife be going too far and she out of pocket and you need to check her. Damon was like, why you so sensitive? And why you let women do what women do, But then Greg is like, so I'm sensitive because I have an issue with the fact that you attacked me and then your wife attacked me. And Damon was like, yeah, you are. And I said, Damon, don't gaslight. You gaslighting. You know for a fact Heavenly crossed the line, bro. Heavenly crossed the line. And then Damon ends up saying that Heavenly can get along with everybody. And all the men kind of looked at him like, Eugene even like touched his shoulder and was like, did you bump your head? Because where did that come from? I also like the fact that Eugene pretty much made it be known that Greg, why do you think that Quad isn't happy without you? Because I'm like, yeah, because who were you? Because, before they all got into the situation about Damon and Greg, Cecil was like, I'm glad that Quad had a party and told us we didn't have to come and we could all hang out. And, what's it called? Greg ends up saying, well, Sweet Tea didn't go. And they were like, well, it's understandable. And he was like, yeah, I hope Quad is happy where she at. I hope she find her happiness too and somebody that's on her level. And then Eugene was like, why wouldn't she be happy? Like, why are we acting like Quad isn't happy now? And even Curtis jumped in and was like, yeah, why are we acting like she not happy? She always said she moved on from you. Like, and the thing about it is like, I'm like, Greg, you were no prize. Like you were a Ninja Turtle in a mini cube. Like you weren't a prize to anybody, sir. And I mean, Sweet Tea does seem like she more of your speed instead of Quad. So I just like that Eugene pointed out, like, bro, she happy. She fine without you. So let me get back to Damon and Greg arguing back and forth. But basically what it boils down to is Damon feels some type of way that Greg didn't vouch for his character, and Greg feels some type of way that Damon didn't check Heavenly and vouch for his character. Then Damon ends up saying that what he ultimately doesn't like is that his patients are being harmed. So word on the street is that with Damon's facility, they would outsource patients to Greg's facility, but Greg stopped doing it after the situation that happened with Heavenly. And Damon feels like we can have our beef and all of that stuff, but when it starts to affect patients, that's when I have an issue. And Greg basically says that, like, he got busy and some of the patients that Damon sends over need more care. And he was like, my facility just got busy. And I just really feel like, no, you stopped taking his patients because you mad at his wife, which it's understandable, okay? And I feel like Damon is like, bro, you messing with my money and you messing with my patients, so we have a problem. They awkwardly kind of like squashed it, but we know it's not squashed. And that's really where the episode ended. But honestly, the truth is Damon probably did cheat. Like I said in the spicy corner, when production asked Damon, do you believe that Heavenly shared that information about you cheating? And him saying, Heavenly and Sweet Tea not that close, instead of him just refuting outright that I did not cheat on my wife, makes me feel like he cheated. I do understand Greg's point of view where it's like, you came at me, your wife came at me, I'm not sensitive, check your wife. But I also feel like I don't really see it for Weenie Hut Jr. 1 and Weenie Hut Jr. 2. So I'm just kind of like, can we let this go? Can we move on to something else? That's what I want to do. And I hope that's what we're doing. And yeah. So yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. As always, remember to be bravely authentic and definitely hop down in the comments below and share your thoughts with me. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.